we see the typing of an office girl, and she's sending her emails to thank her clients for the purchase of the company's products. It is terribly unfortunate that the texture of the desk was the last thing she saw. This girl wasn't able to do a single thing she had wanted in life, but maybe if another life existed. Waking up in the morning, a young Dahlia walked downstairs to see her father, Carlo, tinkering with another invention of his. He had his work to do, and lifted his daughter up to see a magic device he'd been working on. In this world, magic devices are tools and objects that use magic. Everyone in the country uses them in their daily lives. The devices make everyone's lives a little easier. They can cool a room or make it warmer. For example, using a fire magic stone can create a light out of nowhere, and using a water magic stone can create a torrent of water. With the use of a wind magic stone, cleaning can be finished in a flash, and using stones in clever ways gives you different kinds of magic devices. Dahlia wondered if that was just like using magic, but her father assured her it wasn't. There are a limited number of people who can use magic well, but anyone can use magic devices. Her father then brought the device he was working on towards her, and with her turning the dial, it projected an array of light depicting many creatures moving around. And Dahlia stared in awe and excitement at the lights. People who create these devices are magic artificers, and that's her father's occupation. Hearing this, Dahlia desired to become one as well. So her father assured her that as long as she created great works, then of course she could. This made her really excited and determined to be one great artificer, just like him. And it'd be great if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Look, we're getting to 100K subscribers. And to celebrate, as we get closer, I'll be doing a countdown live stream on the channel. There, we can chat and I'll play a game that you'll have the chance to vote on. I'd love to see you there. On another day, Dahlia's friend Irma was intrigued to see the Dahlia space. It was her own workbench where she drew all of her ideas. However, with Dahlia's father needing to focus on work, he ushered the two to play outside. Dahlia was a little disappointed because she wanted to read the monster field guide inside the house with Irma, but she listened to her father and the two went outside to play. While working, Carlo stumbled upon Dahlia's magic device ideas, suddenly becoming fixated on the array of potential inventions her young daughter had come up with. The housekeeper, Sophia, then scolded Carlo, telling him Dahlia would get angry if he touched her things without asking. The Dahlia space was really important to her. Outside, as Irma brushed Dahlia's hair, Dahlia confirmed her determination to be a magic artificer. She asked what Irma would want for a device. Irma didn't want anything in particular, but would love a refrigerator since her home didn't have one. However, Dahlia wasn't interested in making things that already existed. Irma then brought up how she wanted to be a hairdresser when she got older. She practices with her own hair, but since it's so long, it takes a while to dry. That's when Dahlia's brain started clicking. She bolted inside and began drawing an invention that could help hair dry faster. Perhaps using a firestone and windstone, she could create something with warm wind that would make it easier to dry hair faster. Presenting it to her father, he saw the idea for a device that could make a warm spring breeze, which she had already named a hairdryer. She asked her father for permission to make it, but he lightly laughed, telling her she couldn't right now, but one day, which disappointed her because she wanted to make it right now. However, he did believe it was a good idea. She just needed more experience before she could build it. That evening, Carlo went to go visit his buddy, Theodore Orlando. Theodore thought Carlo's status as a doting father had reached its peak, with him giving his daughter a workstation before even starting primary school. Theodore felt that was somewhat dangerous. Carlo felt sure of himself, however, since he told Dahlia she couldn't use magic stones unless he was with her. But Theodore gave a good rule of thumb, stating children don't generally heed warnings the way parents think they would. He had already raised 2 children and learned his words carry a different weight. However, Carlo fell for the trap, thinking that Dahlia was special and wouldn't cause a problem. As the two men went back and forth about selling Dahlia's inventions in Theodore's shop, Dahlia was up to things in her room. That night, Carlo returned home and peacefully enjoyed a drink, until he heard the screams of his daughter upstairs. He found her room engulfed in flames, and with quick thinking, equipped a magic device with a water stone to put the fire out. He then checked on his daughter, who began bursting into tears. He looked at the magic stone pile, noticing the empty firestone. He asked why Dahlia would do such a thing, since he already told her if she was gonna use stones, he should be there with her. Still sobbing, she explained she wanted to make the hairdryer as a secret. She wanted to surprise her father, thinking he'd give her lots of praise. Carlo was a good man. He didn't get mad. He accepted that's just what a kid with passion was gonna do. Looking at her schematic, he could see the mechanism worked, but as it is now, the fire and wind come out at full blast. He hadn't taught her how to link output calculations and mixer circuits yet. He felt he could truly relate to his daughter though. As an inventor, when thinking of something, he himself couldn't stand not making it. Knowing some of the work of making magical devices can be dangerous, he made her aware there was still plenty he hadn't taught her yet, but assured her that until she was skilled enough to do things alone, they could just make things together, prompting her to embrace him and apologize over and over. That evening, the two got to work, and with the device shooting a flame out, it for sure couldn't be used for drying hair. But the build wasn't bad. Carlo determined it just needed a magic circuit to limit the energy to produce a nice, warm breeze. Hearing her father quickly find a solution, Dahlia praised him. The two continued to work on the device together throughout the night, and when morning came, he turned it on and the blow drying worked successfully. The two cheered drinks to their victory. Sophia then arrived for her usual shift. Surprised to see the two up so early, Dahlia ran up to her, joyously mentioning they finished the hairdryer. But staying up all night, she fell asleep, holding Sophia where she stood. Sophia was not happy to hear Dahlia hadn't slept, however. On top of that, they hadn't bathed either. Gross. After putting Dahlia into bed, Sophia mentioned how once she had complimented Dahlia's hair, but Dahlia responded by wishing it was the same color as her father's. Looking at the hairdryer, Sophia was impressed that Dahlia could invent such a device at a young age, and Carlo shuddered mentioning his daughter's talent. She may be even more amazing than he is. Then, as Dahlia slept, she uttered, "Dad, what kind of magic device should we make next?" And he was pleased to hear her already thinking of her next invention. However, the piece had to end, because it was time for Carlo's scolding by Sophia. Time and seasons passed. Dahlia yawned as she put on her glasses, still having trouble completing this fairy crystal lantern. Carlo came home after drinking, poking at his daughter who fell asleep at her desk again. She then headed to the kitchen to make breakfast, and Carlo pulled out a piece of paper, wondering if she'd be angry were he to take an apprentice who ranked above her. Eating breakfast together, Carlo asked his daughter if she had any new invention ideas. She had plenty, but 3 in particular that were detailed enough. He was proud of her, and she matter-of-factly stated, "Well, I am the daughter of Carlo Rossetti, the hot water device baron." He felt she'd be even greater though. He felt she'd one day become a magic artificer who'd leave her name in this kingdom's history, even if she couldn't imagine it herself at the moment. She then put on her bag, running outside to meet up with Irma and the rest of her friends. She overlooked the town, thinking one day she'd become a magic artificer who could make people happy, just like her father. Okay, a little heartwarming start to the tale of a young reincarnated inventor. But y'all gotta wait for the romance and drama to begin. Subscribe to the channel for more. Also, watch this next video. It's me, ComfyTea. I'll see you all in the next one.